Affordable, lightweight, reliable. These are just some of the things that every student is looking for in a laptop. This right here is the Vivobook Go 15 by Asus, and it has everything you might need and possibly even more.
So in this video, I'll be going over the
key features of this device to give you the opportunity to decide whether this will fit your needs or not. I know you're probably really interested in the battery life of this laptop as you're a student and you need to understand this part of the laptop. So stay tuned till the end of the video where I'll discuss and show you guys a little bit more on that. The Vivobook Go 15 stands out as an exceptional choice when it comes to style and functionality. There are two versions of the Go 15. One that has OLED and one without. I do really recommend jumping for the OLED edition because the display is absolutely stunning and you'll definitely notice it once you start it up. It has a 15.6-inch display that's 60 Hz, but my favorite part is the 100% DCI P3 gamut range that it has. It's actually crazy because at this laptop's price range, having OLED display is undeniably my favorite part. Now moving on to the weight of this laptop, it's actually quite light compared to its competitors. It weighs approximately 3.6 pounds or 1.6 kgs.
And of course approximately 16 millimeters thick.
Now this is not the lightest and thinnest model on the market right now at the moment, but it still stands out as something usable by students. This lightweight and slim design on this laptop makes it a lot more portable, and it's just gonna give you way less back problems in the future because of course you gotta carry this thing around all day.
Fatality.
Now for processing power, these devices run on a Ryzen 5 CPU, which for basic workload is more than enough for you. You can actually argue that this thing is actually somewhat usable for playing games. You gotta keep yourself entertained at some point, Now, of course, you don't think that you're gonna be able to play AAA games. Like, that's a no. This thing it's not a gaming laptop, but if you're someone like me that's really into games like Stardew Valley, then it's going to be perfect because those are not really hardware intensive in any way. Don't you dare judge me. This game is super addictive, okay? I've even run Valorant on this device and it seems to be running really well on lowish settings. At the end of the day, you can really argue that it can somewhat keep you entertained with some gaming on the side when you're not busy studying and you're just chilling and relaxing. Now moving on to these specs, this device comes with 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM along with a 500 gigabyte NVMe storage. Now I know what you're thinking, 500 gigabytes, yeah, it's not much, but trust me on this, you're going to want to choose something that's SSD or NVMe. So basically what that means is your applications are gonna open up faster, your PC is going to boot up a lot quicker. NVMe and SSD drives are a lot better in terms of performance. And look, you can always buy an external drive later if you're running out of space. Now also moving on to the laptop's build itself, we have an awesome keyboard which has a 1.4 millimeter key travel distance, which allows for good tactile feedback and minimal force. The touchpad is also a decent size. It's actually a bit small for my liking. I actually really prefer the touchpad on my Zephyrus G16 from Asus. They really made it a lot larger and I prefer that type of touchpad in my opinion. But this one is not the smallest that I've seen. It's actually a really decent size and it's also quite smooth. There's no really issues on that side with its touchpad. Also, a really neat little feature that it has is this privacy cover for your webcam. So what you can do is just flip over the lens cover and you've got a lot more privacy, feeling safer knowing that you know, no one's watching you. I find it really cool that Asus added that small little feature for everyone. And for the ports, we have one USB 2, a USB 3, one USB-C port, and HDMI plus audio jack. I really like the fact that they added USB-C because look, today we're all dealing with this new change in cables, whether it's your charging cable, your data transferring cable. It's great that Asus also added this because it's becoming a really relevant thing to have. A large reason why I believe this laptop is a great fit for students is its US military grading. The laptop itself exceeds industry standards when it comes to being able to take a beating. But please do understand, this doesn't mean that it's indestructible. It's just a little more durable. Now, I've found that the screen is a slight bit flimsy for my liking, but it understandably is just a screen and it's mostly made out of plastic. But I actually like this cool little feature that they added, that the hinge goes 180 degrees, which basically allows for your screen to lay flat, level with the body, so that, you know, if someone accidentally somewhat sits on it or something like that, it doesn't just snap the hinge right off. It's a pretty good precaution to have. I have no idea what else you would use that 180-degree angle for, to be quite honest with you. If you want to let me know in the comments, please let me know. But quite honestly, for this laptop's price range, it's a pretty fair trade-off. And that's something we haven't yet discussed, the price. Now, I'm sure you all are very curious as to what this thing costs. It's actually very budget friendly. So the OLED model goes for about $600 to $700, which is a pretty fair deal for a laptop that has an OLED display. If that's not exactly in your budget, you can get the more cheaper option, which is what I have here, is the non-OLED version. And for that, you'll pay about $480 on Amazon. So that's exactly what I've seen so far. And for a laptop at that price range with all those type of specs, it's totally, I think, worth the buy. Now finally, for the part that you've been waiting for, let's talk about the battery. Of course, the charging speed on this laptop is pretty decent, and according to Asus's website, there it's mentioned that you'll reach 60% in about 49 minutes, which is pretty fair in my opinion. I don't think that's a bad speed to charge at. I have actually tested this thing in the past, and I've noticed that the laptop's battery is quite long lasting. I'm actually really surprised at it. I think you could get a full day's work out of just a basic workload. Gaming, not so much, as it's more intensive, it's more power intensive, or power. What is the word I'm looking for? Power. It wants power. That's it. So it seeks a lot more power. So there you're going to want to maybe just have it plugged in. So whether you're playing, like I said, Stardew Valley or Valorant, yeah, just keep it plugged in. Let me know in the comments if this is something you would find useful as a student, or even for someone that's in a workspace environment. But if you're looking for something a bit more powerful, and by a bit I mean a lot more powerful, then you're gonna want to check out this video right here about the Zephyrus G16 by Asus. It's a great video discussing a great laptop, and it's a lot more powerful than this, obviously for gaming. So I definitely recommend checking it out. It'll be at the end of the video on the end screen. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.